back. Um, oh, me cago en su madre. Do that really quick. I should have known. Retrieving data, waiting for frames. We're going. Uno, dos, tres. Oh, look at that. Look at all this stuff. It's connected. Dude, this stuff is just so cool. Watching this stuff work. It's like watching a depth finder work. I swear, it is so good. And let me go to this page so I can see where everybody is at. They're probably like, you idiot, Fly, you're already live. But it's okay because I'm not live until I say, those special words. But I haven't said the words yet. And everybody knows the words. That's my favorite part. Because then I'm fired.
I know the words. I know the words.
No, trust me.
I'm a fan of the words.
I know. Hey, listen, I've seen you go live and use the words. Now I've been watching everybody else use it, and I'm like, somebody says, doesn't that bother you? I'm like, no, man, that's awesome. This is a big, giant family. And we are back. Here I am, Fly Navarro with the No BS World Tour. I'm here with my man, Paco Vela in the house. Good to see you, Paco. Look at that. I see John off the ditch digger already in here. Lorenzo Nosey. Hold on. Okay. Lorenzo all the way from Italy has joined us. Good to see you, Lorenzo. I'm here with Paco Vela. I can't even say Paco Vela from the Dulce Coco anymore. You're like Paco Vela. What's the name of your new boat now?
Well, actually, I'm on the Showtime, but my boat is the thing. I'm still on Dulce Coco. Dulce Coco is nice and ticking. Still in Dominican Republic. Most likely this year going to be down here in Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands and British Virgin Islands. We don't know yet this year with the virus and the closure how it's going to be, but for sure, I'm still on both boats. I'm running the Showtime on my boat as well.
So this boat that you're on now is called the Showtime.
Yes, sir.
And right now you're in Puerto Rico, ¿verdad? I mean, true?
Yep.
So I got to give everybody a little heads up. When I'm talking to fellow Latinos, I have a tendency to jump back and forth. Hold on, I got to say this again. And we're back! Fly Navarro at the No BS World Tour. I just connected to the last page. So when I'm speaking to a fellow Latino, I have a tendency to bounce back and forth from English to Spanglish to Spanish. So if I do that, please forgive. But I'm here with Paco Vela. Paco, why don't you tell everybody what you're famous for?
Well, I think I'm famous a whole lot.
You see how I just kind of threw it up there really, really carefully. I'm going to let you run with it. But go for it.
Well, I'm actually famous for having a great time on the boat, but we love to fish, and we've been doing some short time fishing for the last couple of years, and we've been doing that kind of successfully down here on the Caribbean, and the name has gone out, and the techniques can go out, and so on. So people all over the world have come and joined us down here on this fishery that actually I think is one of the best fisheries on the world for when it comes to swordfish.
Keep on talking. I'm just sharing it across all the different pages. There's a lot of pages to share.
Well, down here we've been able to fish all over. We started on Puerto Rico many years ago.
When did you start daytime sword fishing in Puerto Rico? You personally?
Well, actually, we started night fishing.
Okay.
My sensei, the guy that introduced me to sword fishing, is your great buddy Mark Pagano.
Okay.
I used to fish with Mark in the Big Dog down in Dominican Republic for blue marlin in June and July. And Mark was telling me everything all about the sword fishing and buoy fishing and so on. So we started doing that like maybe 10 years ago. And Mark with me was an open book and taught me everything that it was to know. about nighttime sword fishing, and we were really successful doing nighttime and buoy fishing down in Puerto Rico. After that, we started doing daytime when I was running the boat Doña Lucy. Maybe you will remember the boat.
I remember the Daniel Lucy very well.
Yeah, well, we did that some amazing fishing on that boat. So when I was running that boat, we started like daytime sword fishing with my great buddy Rafa Caicedo. So we got our first fish down there and so on. And not very long after, we discovered that the quality of the fish on the Caribbean was amazing. On our very first year, we got 3 fish over 500 pounds on 30 something trips.
Wow.
So
whoa, wait a second. Hold on. Timmy Richardson just jumped on and he called me and you gringos.
Well, actually, he's a wannabe gringo.
He's not even a real gringo.
He knows he's not a real gringo. He's from Aussie.
Oh, yeah. What is this? Well, I had to stop this because I'm like, really? He's not even a gringo, and he's calling me and you a gringo.
Well, actually, it's really, really nice to have a team on the house because that's actually he's my master on when it comes to charter boats. When I started doing charters, it because I went with Tim, and Tim is a guy that will run his boat the proper way that you should run a charter boat. Everything top notch, the quality, the service, and so on. So when I started doing charters, it was because Timmy was wrong. And I don't know if you know, I went to Australia, fished with him for a whole season.
I know that.
Well, actually, it's the best season that Tim has ever had in the reef.
Were you the first?
Because he was a Puerto Rican on the boat.
That's what I was going to say. Were you the first Puerto Rican in Australia?
He was the first that had the guts to bring to Australia a Puerto Rican. So you got to hand it to the guy. He had some guts bringing a Puerto Rican to the reef. So. So it was a great season. I think we had like 3 grounders that year. Actually, one day we caught 2 grounders in a single day. So for sure, he's one of the guys that every time I have a doubt in a heavy tackle and so on, I go to him. But anyway, back to the gringo stuff. He's not a real gringo.
He's not. He's not. He's an Aussie. He's like a kangaroo. It's like a marsupial.
He's like actually, here in Puerto Rico, we call him the kangaroo. That's it.
Do you really?
Yeah, right.
So I've been on boats where they call him Crocodile Dundee.
Well, actually,
I call him. I call him the mackerel because when we fish together.
Actually, in Australia, it's just the mackerel.
That's it.
Down in other places, it's the drop bear and so on.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Oh, Yami's joined in. Hello, Yami. ¿Cómo estás? I see some other people joining. Oh, Manuel Santana has joined us from a bordo.
Big shout to Manuel. Manuel is one of the guys making things happen in Dominican Republic.
Manuel is my only gripe with Manuel is he never calls because I call him and I say, and then even when I see him on live, I'm like, Manuel, you said you wanted to do a project together. Let's do it. And then he doesn't do it. He doesn't call me. So, and now.
Actually, because Manuel is the face and he has but you have to call Alma, his wife.
Oh.
Actually, Alma is the key that's why we won the World Cup last year. Because Alma wasn't bored. We didn't brought Manuel. Manuel was to cover the story. But we brought Alma that she was the one that brought the fish.
Exactly. Mike Carr, good to see you as well. Hey, while everybody's watching, could you guys hit that share button? We're just getting this thing started. This is going to be a lot of great conversation about fishing in the Caribbean, fishing, sword fishing. So anybody that wants to learn about sword dropping or day timing, this is going to be a great, great conversation. So make sure you hit that share button and let people know what we're doing here today. Dame a que hora. Mira, a que hora. Listen to him. Now it's like, oh, what time do you want me to call? Just call me. I'll call you back. And I call him, and then he doesn't call me. ¿Qué le pasa? Crazy. I got to be careful not to curse because I want to curse at him. So, anyway, I love the guy. He's great. He did the first year we did the tournament in Casa de Campo. He did a great interview with me. And it was really the first time I'd ever done an interview 100% in Spanish. So that was really, really cool. I also want to give a big shout out. Wait a second. I got to give a big shout out to my man Tarzan. Have you seen Tarzan? Have you met Tarzan? Have you seen any of the pictures that I showed? Tarzan is 11 years old, and this guy is a badass. Hands down. And here's the best thing. Because I'm sharing his pictures on my Instagram page, so all of my followers that I have that I know from like Tanzania, Maldives, all this, Oman, he's known, I think he knows more people around the world than I do. I really do. Because people call me up because they know he's 11 years old. They're like, hey man, look at this picture. He looks just like Tarzan. Tell him I said hello. It's like, what? I'm just an answering service now. So,
anybody that is called Tarzan is badass.
Dude, he's awesome. At 11 years old, he went out yesterday. He caught 8 blue crabs. And, absolutely, Yami. Big time. Thanks for saying hello. I always say hi to I try to say hi to everybody that jumps in. And my perrito's here still nervous because of the lightning. So let's go back to Manuel Santana. Que dice Alma's there with him. So
okay, big shout to Alma. She's the one that brings the fish. He's the face, but Alma for sure is the one that is the lucky charm of the couple.
She actually just joined in and she says, waiting for the next World Swordfish Experience tournament. We already put out the dates. Mira, I have it right here next to me. I've been posting it up. We had a lot of people enjoy it. Wait a second. I just came home because I got hit by a stingray. Tarzan got hit by a stingray. Are you okay, buddy? No. Listen, bro, the other day he was on his paddleboard and he got blown out in the river and he's
Tarzan.
Yeah, he's Tarzan. He's Tarzan. He's just yeah. So
he's wearing that name with pride.
Listen, I think it's awesome. I interviewed him once, but I didn't do it live. I just did it a quiet podcast, and then I blasted it out. So, but no. He really is. He's a badass. Hi, Jamie. Jamie Henderson's in the house. So anyway, let's go back. Let's rewind. What were we talking? I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We were talking about swordfishing, then about Alma and all the.
Oh, okay. See, that's
Richards on the office.
See, well,
talk about everybody.
See, that's how these live things work.
And we've been Latinos. We talk about everybody.
Exactly, and we can't even say that we talk about them behind their back. We're
No.
We're publicizing this. This is live, and I keep asking everybody, "Oye, hit that share button. Hit that share button. Oye, Manuel, I know you're there. Hit it over to Abordo. Chop, get it out there. Let people know." And Mom, Joan McGilvery's in the house. Good to see you. What's up, Nick? Mira, there's conversations going on in our conversation. This is like being at a Latin dinner. So you have the big table, me and you are talking, and then everybody else is having a conversation que no tiene nada que, it has nothing to do with us. So,
that's great. That's how it happens. You know?
Exactly, and that's why we do this every day. So anyway, you say Mark was the one that introduced you to the daytime sword fishing.
Well, actually, nighttime sword fishing.
Okay.
Actually, Mark introduced me to the swordfish.
Okay.
For me, before that, I know that the species existed, but never had tried or whatever. By fishing with him so many seasons and so many days on the big dog that we had an amazing time on that boat. Actually, the owner was Cuban.
Oh, no, no, no. I know Kike very well.
I spent so much time in the back porch with Kike, and then in the afternoons and the morning talking with Mark and so on. Mark told me everything that I need to know about sword fishing at night, and he was an open book, not that kind of shit that you tell something and so on. He was an open book, and he even made me a drawing. This is how you're gonna do it. We start doing it like that, and we started being very successful in Puerto Rico. So after that, maybe 2 years after that, I started with my buddy Raffle when I was on the Doña Lucy, daytime sword fishing, and we got our first one. That actually our first one we lost it right there on the leader. But after that we were hooked, and we start like changing it a little bit because we have certain conditions like every other place in the world that you have different bottoms, different currents, weather, and so on. So you have to start changing your techniques. So in Puerto Rico was kind of a challenge because we have no current, but most of the time we have rough seas. So your boat is moving a lot. So we start with the Venezuelan type, with the bottle and so on, and then we start like moving the bait a little bit more. And through like 80 years doing daytime in the Caribbean, we have changed and changing to come to a technique that has been like producing more and more fish for us.
Okay, and it's funny because I think it was last week or it could have been 2 weeks ago. I had Jeffrey Wilson on, and he was telling me about the time he came down and fished with you, and you guys caught. You might as well tell him how big that was because it was a monster of a fish.
Well, actually, that every time we have been fishing together many times, and you know that I truly believe that fishing is all about the mojo. And
Absolutely.
the mojo that you have in the boat is you having a great time and you with great buddies, and that doesn't mean that you're doing things incorrectly. You're doing things properly, but having a great time, the fish will come. Well, Jeff Wilson come with Bobby Boyle down to Puerto Rico. We were meant to go fishing as buddies and then make a seminar down at Cangrejos Yacht Club. So at that time I was working with Friedel Stube on Dorado Beach Club. That is one of the biggest resort and the finest resort in Puerto Rico. And he also have a couple of hotels. So I put both of them in one of the hotels that I knew the manager and so on. I got to the hotel at 5 o'clock in the morning. At 5 o'clock in the morning, Bobby became our dad. And Jeffy and I was just the two little kids, just laughing, having a great time. Well, actually, we went out fish. I will say 7:30 or 8. On the very first drop, Jeffrey hated the squid that I rigged because down here we mostly don't stitch the squid. Like we put a couple of stitches and so on. So he got a roll of wax line and started stitching, and we were laughing all about it. So right away he couldn't finish his squid. We got hooked up on this fish. And we were, oh, we're hooked up. Yeah, like 20 minutes after, and RJ, Bobby, have a great picture. 20 minutes after of the fish on his tail, a 635 pounder, on his tail. Boom, 2 miles from shore. Right there at 9 o'clock or so.
Wow.
So we fought that fish like 2.5 hours. Actually, that was another funny thing. RJ was recording, and Jeff just like tackled me. Like, you know that he runs the boat from the Titans?
Yeah.
I can tell you that he had known something of football. He tackled me from the rod because I was right in the corner on Sunset. No, you cannot put so much pressure. So he took the rod out of my hand. So he backed up the track, and after that he fought the fish for another 2.5 hours and so on. We had a blast.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Like before noon, we weren't sure. Like I remember, we pulled that fish, Jose Pasos. You know Jose, the
Yes.
owner of the tackle shop in Puerto Rico, Macho. Well, actually, the owner of the tackle shop, he was running the boat that day, and between the six of us, we put the boat, the fish on board. I say, okay, let's make another drop. And Bobby said, what? The job is done. Let's go
We're going
back.
in. That's
Hey,
it.
we waited that fish at 9 o'clock at night.
Oh my gosh.
So many people, like in the dog, that they were coming for the seminar that was the very next day. The marina was full and so on, and everybody wanting to have a chat with Jeffrey and with RJ and with us and so on. So the fish stand still until like, hey, let's wait the damn thing. So, but for sure was one of the best days that I have had on the water, fishing with friends and so on.
That's what fishing's all about, is spending the time with your friends like that. And now, did you hear about Jeffrey's fish he caught? Was it yesterday or day before? The 310-pound swordfish out of Texas.
I didn't know, but it doesn't surprise me. He always catch a lot of fish and a big fish.
I got a message from his boss that his daughter caught. She was the angler, and the fish. I think it was 310 or 315, something like that. It was a really nice fish. Really nice fish. And then last week, oh, wait a second. Somebody's saying that was today. Maybe it was today. It could have been today. It just came in. Okay. All I know,
it's more fresh.
It's definitely fresh, and all I know is his boss was the one that sent me the text message and the picture. Hey, Jake Jordan, how are you? Richard Bright, good to see you. Everybody's joining in here today. So now, Paco, we're gonna circle back around to some of your techniques, but before I do that, I want to circle around. Last year, you won the first ever around the world swordfish tournament. And I want to circle around to it because it was my tournament. But it was one of those things. I put on the Blue Marlin World Cup. I do not own that one. I'm the tournament director. I've been running it this is my 6th year. And I saw how popular daytime sword fishing had become. Now, when I first started daytime sword fishing was when I was in Venezuela back in the 90s. What a lot of people don't understand is the daytiming that we're doing now was being done in the 80s by the local Venezuelans. They were deep dropping for it well before anybody here in the States was doing it.
No, actually, they were the ones that brought sword fishing down to Dominican Republic, and the people that start doing that before I started on Puerto Rico were the boats that go from Puerto Rico to Venezuela. They learn down there, and that's why we started down here doing it the Venezuela style.
Absolutely. I need to give a big shout out to my friend Abdullah Anif, and I don't know if you know Abdullah. But Abdullah, he's from the Maldives, and they just caught their first daytime swordfish 2 or 3 weeks ago. They've been trying for years, and they finally got it done 2 or 3 weeks ago. So big shout out to you, Abdullah. But when I was down in Venezuela, there was no electric reels. It was a mano, hand crank. And they're 1,700 foot, and you're hand cranking. And I was a young deckhand at the time. I was 22, 23 years old. So you're at the stern, backing up into the sea, soaking wet, top to bottom. And then
actually, that's how we do it here, because it's really rare to go out here with like that flat count seas. So it's mostly like you fish in Venezuela.
So wait a second. I'm sorry to interrupt again, but this has to be done because now he just said hello, and I'm sure he's going to ask. Dominic Lacombe Jr. is in the house. American Custom Yachts.
Hi, Dominic.
He's in the house. Dominic, And before this call started, just so you know, he's wearing shorts. He's wearing shorts. So, and the first thing that Paco said to me, he goes, "Oh my God, that was so funny when you had Dominic the other day."
I want his tie. I don't know if he can put a price on it, but I need that tie.
Maybe we should auction that thing off for our fundraiser.
You should auction the tie.
We should. I'm telling you, he looked like he was right off of Animal House.
But for sure, I bet whatever that it was a leftover.
It was. I put money on it. He just walked in. Honey, move! I got to talk to Fly. Kids, Uncle Fly's on the line. Get him on here. So you. I remember with the new popularity of the daytime sword fishing, I felt that this was a great opportunity because I'm watching as everybody. I'm very, very fortunate with my network, both social network and just the people that I know. I'm watching as people are catching swordfish everywhere. Kenya, New Zealand, Australia. I see Spara is in the house. He caught that monster down in Australia. I see in the Caribbean, the boys from St. Martin, they've got some great fishing down there. Here in Florida, we have good fishing. So I just felt, you know what? This is a good opportunity to do this. And I remember, I specifically, once I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do, I called Bobby Boyle. I said, listen, this is what I want to do. I want to bring you on. Everybody knows you. I want to make you my presenting sponsor. And then I called you up and I said, hey, listen, this is what we're doing. This is an international live. Absolutely, Alma. This is way international. I see my friend Laureline from Venezuela, from Cameroon is in the house. Her husband Alex in Cameroon is in the house. I got Pork Chop here, Abdullah. So this is worldwide. I mean, we're not going to do this.
It's even in Puerto Rico.
Man, let me tell you, I had somebody said, wow, Fly, you have friends all over the world. I go, Fly Zone Fishing is global. I'll give it to Pitbull where he went out when he said he was Mr. Worldwide. He was the first one that said it. I'll give him that. But, hey, man, I'm bringing it back home. I'm taking this thing all the way around. What, are you kidding me? Hey, listen, I'll bring Pitbull on here and we could, 2 Cubans on here talking smack about who's really global, Mr. Worldwide. Scott Edgar, all the way from Ketchikan, Alaska, Real Alaska Fishing Charters. Hey, Scott, post your website up there so people can see where you're at. Mike Carr, me and my crew is going to be deep dropping off Jersey this summer. Mike, you guys should sign up for the World Cup. Or it's not it's the Swordfish Cup. It's not the World Cup because people get it confused. But it's a lot of fun. We do it for 24 hours. It's 24 hours in your time zone. So if you want a daytime, you want a nighttime. It's just biggest swordfish on the dock. I've had a couple people ask me to offer up a prize for most releases. I may do that. I don't know. What I did this year is I created Calcuttas for different regions. So the Caribbean is going to have their own Calcutta. The Gulf of Mexico have their own Calcutta. Florida will. The East Coast will. So then that way, it's like tournaments within tournaments. So if somebody like you puts a 700-pounder on the dock out of the Caribbean, we can go still have a chance for people to win some money, which is something I like. Anyway, so you called me up. You were so excited. You're like, man, I'm going to do this. You're in the Dominican Republic. You get Alma on board. She is your going to be writing it all down, taking pictures. So tell us a little bit about, because you were practicing up. What's the date? Jake Jordan. Hold on. Somebody's asking. And Jake, post up your website as well. Jake Jordan. You know Jake? He's like he's like the grandfather of fly fishing. He teaches all the billfish fly fishing classes.
Well, then he needs to contact me, because after we're allowed to go out, we're preparing the boat to go ultra light tackle for sword fishing and fly fishing.
Jake, there you go.
That's what we got. We're gonna put a lot of effort on doing that down here nighttime. daytime, we're gonna try to do daytiming in 20-pound line and 30-pound line.
If you
Daytime
if you need
on the bottom.
if you need a wire man, let me know.
Well, you know that you're invited all the time.
Okay, well, listen. I know I had talked with Brandon Mueller. He was going to go for the 8-pound ladies record, and he asked me, he goes, "You want to be the wire man?" I'm like, "Oh, absolutely, absolutely." Stuart Simpson's in the house from Cape Verde. Jake Jordan, July 25th through the 26th. So the way we have it set up, it is 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. 24 hours of fishing. Straight through. It's like a marathon. So anyway, you called me up, and you were like calling me up every week. Oh, how many boats? How many people? Oh, I'm so excited. I'm getting good reports. So go ahead and tell me, tell everybody where you left out of, how you were doing, the whole 9 yards.
Well, actually, for that tournament, a couple of my guests on the boat, like Dulce Coco, has we don't even have a web page. It's people coming year after year, and they become families and so on. So I have two of my most important guests that they come every year for a couple of times and say, "Paco, we need to do this." I said, "Well, I'm gonna do it, but this is not a charter. I want to go out to have fun. If you want to come, you're invited. There's no fee on board. So we're going out to fish as friends." And they go, well, I'm all about it. So they flew down to Dominican Republic. We went out of Dominican Republic. But at that time, it's not the peak of the season for us. So we were watching on conditions and so on, and we were fishing like 60 miles out. So we left the dock to be there on time at midnight. Alma was with us. All the guys were with us. We were really prepared for the tournament. So even though we depart at midnight, we put lines in at 9:30 a.m. I made a big mistake and didn't ask nobody to bring a satellite phone. So at 9 and 8, boom, we got hooked up with the first fish. It was like 100-pounder. Oh, perfect. We got lucky. I think that we got a fish. We make another drop. Boom, we got hooked up again. And that was the other qualifying fish that was about 240. We put it down again. I think we had a strike, or not a strike. A fish came and played with it for a little bit. We couldn't make him hit. Then we moved a little bit to like maybe a mile apart a drop. We put it down. Boom, we got hooked again. To make this story long short, we have 7 bites that day. And we got 5 fish. Right at sunset, at 6 o'clock, the only bite that we got on the buoy rod was the big fish. So the strike was so hard that I attached my buoy with a rubber band.
Okay.
It was so hard that the buoy flew on the air like maybe 10 feet high.
Wow.
So we were hooked with it. And I think that we put the harpoons on the fish maybe at 9:30. So when we put on board, we measured the fish. And I said, guys, this is a fish that can win the tournament. I think this fish, for sure, is over 350. And I remember that I talked to the guys and say, we can stay out here and fish. We're going to get more fish, for sure. But if we stay here, the nearest port is Casa de Campo. So we're going to be there like tomorrow noon or so if we fish until 8. And this fish is going to be dehydrated and something. If it was for me, I will start like going in until we get reception and let's go fly. I remember Alma telling me, okay, Paco, I have a fly on the phone. I said, okay, perfect. Give it to me. And say, fly, what is going on? And you told me, okay, Bobby has one, like, I don't remember.
It was 250.
250, and I have this other guy that has one that is 285 and so on. I say, and that's the lead fish, 285? And you said, like, yeah. So I told you, okay, well, call that guy and tell him that he's not going to win.
And that was like 1 o'clock in the morning when you called me.
Yeah. So I said, I have one that is like 3 feet. And he said, but send me the measurements and so on. So that time I told Bryson that he's the captain of my boat, just steam it back to shore. Let's wait this fish on. So we steam it. Everybody in Casa de Campo was waiting for us. Josie and everybody down there made a great effort to have the crowd, the crowd out and everything to just put the boat out and waited for us. And so we waited like 2:30 in the morning. After we waited, that wasn't enough time to go out back fishing and so on. So then on the morning, these guys
Oh,
from
in St. Martin, the yellow whip.
San Martin got hooked up. So they make us sweat a lot.
So those guys, they fished all day long. Then just as the sun started going down, they went home. They got the whole daytime in. They went home. They showered. They ate something, and then they went right back out. So they fished all night, and then right there at daybreak, they got a bite. And
Yeah.
I want to say they hooked up at 6 a.m. Something like that,
Actually,
6:30.
I love that morning bite. You don't know how many big fish I've caught, like really the sun coming up.
Oh, and they hooked it up, and I got the phone call. Hey, we're hooked up, and we're waiting. We're waiting. We're waiting. You're calling me. Anything from them? No, not yet. No, not yet. And I think they fought it for like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
And they're sending me text messages. They were close enough to the island or an island. I don't know if they were right there close to St. Martin or in between, like them and or Saba or Antigua, one of them. And I was getting periodic updates. Even their wives were sending it to me. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, man, you know better than I do. And then next thing you know, it's in the boat. And they sent me a picture, and you can tell. Well, you know, you're in the Caribbean, so you know you deal. And I don't even want to call it rough because it's not rough. It's just it's 15 to 20 knots. That's what you deal with every single day, and you can see that they have been wind blown, water blown. They've been beat up by a fish. They got this fish on the boat. You see like waves behind it. And they sent it to me, and I'm like, ooh, that's a nice one. I didn't think it was gonna beat 381, but I'm like, it's gonna be enough for you to sweat it, and it ended up being
Yeah. That's what I thought. When I saw the fish, I thought that it was a 300-pounder. I didn't thought that it was gonna win, but for sure, when you're on a tournament, everything like get you like you're running, and that's the thrill about the tournaments, and I think that's what gets you more hooked up about sword fishing. That when you get a marlin bite, most of the times you see the fish before you hook it up, so you know what you're dealing with. Down here, when you're sword fishing, every time that rod bends, you don't know what you have. Could be 100-pounder, or you can have
the
the
monster.
kraken.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't know. And actually, the faster that you come, he's coming up really easy. Those are the ones that you have to be really careful.
The ones that come, they're just swimming up with the lead. And then as soon as you take that lead off, because they're swimming against that pressure, so they come straight to the surface. And once you take off that lead, hold on. That's when it's really going to happen. That's when it's really going to happen. Once that lead comes off.
That's when they start to fight. When they get to that thermocline, that's what they start fighting. And one thing is curious that you tell me that, like, when I started fishing and so on, and as I fish with RJ and so, they have this theory that they swimming against that wave. But here, sometimes I have no weight, and they swim up the same. What I truly think is that they're swimming up to warm themselves. Remember that down there, they're on 40 degrees of water. So when they pass the thermocline, they have the ability to put all the blood in the spine. So when they get up the thermocline, they put the blood out and get some energy, and they can start fighting.
Fighting. That makes a lot of sense.
So I think it's just their defense mechanism that you hook it up, and that's my theory on doing a light tackle. I think that once they swallow that bait, you're gonna just whine, and just gonna come to the bottom, the top, no matter if you have no weight on it. Because I fish with no weight sometimes, and they do exactly the same thing, straight up, and I use no weight. So I don't think that is because they're dragging that weight and that is pulling them down and they're swimming up. Even if you leave it on free spool and no weight, they're gonna come straight up anyways. The same thing, and if you talk with the long liners, and when I was buoy fishing, they hit the buoy, and you see the buoy that was hooked up. You go next to it, and the fish was lying there, just next to the buoy. And when you make some pressure on it, that's when I say, okay, it's you and me. But he just gonna go, take some energy, and after they pass the thermocline, that's when you're gonna start your fight.
No, and that makes a lot of sense. I know when I lived in Venezuela, when we did it, that was the days of the rocks, and which you still use, and we were only using, I think it was something like 2.5 or 3 pounds to stay on the bottom, just to control it, and we would put the balloons on it or the the soda bottles, and once you see the soda bottle lies down, just start winding because he's coming up to the surface, and there was no lead. I mean, 2 pounds, 3 pounds at most. Not like
I actually these days in the one that I put the float, that is the one that I run back down, I'm putting less than a pound on it, and even though my lead is not attached to the line, I put the lead on a kite ring, so when the fish pull it, he's not dragging that lead.
It drops
he can
off.
Swallow. So most of my fish got hooked anyways.
Okay.
And in the one that I use from the tip of the rod, the most that I will use is 2 pounds. And that's when I have some current. Most of the time I need 1.5 pounds. And like I tell you, anyways, I will have it running through the line. So anyway, if the fish swims up and I have no drag, it will run through the line. So, and once it gets close to the boat, I just attach it with a piece of line. I will cut that line, and just the ring will be on the line, and that's it.
Okay. Now, that buoy rod that you normally fish, how deep do you normally fish that?
Okay, that's an interesting question. And that's why I put like so little weight on that one. Because when I drop it to the bottom, if I have bottom when I'm fishing, when I put it to the bottom, I will take it up maybe 15 feet.
15.
And I would put 15 feet.
Okay.
So I would put the buoy there. And as I'm moving my boat slowly, she will make a drag and start fishing from 15 feet. And at the time that I finish my my drift, that bait have to be like maybe 700 feet from the surface. Because she will be like dragging, but also
coming up. Okay.
I don't want it to be the whole hour. If I'm on an hour on that drift at the same depth, I want it to be moving, but also making some drag. So we'll be working up, and I can work distance and a couple of layers.
Okay. And now, how about your bottom bait, the one that you're fishing on your rod tip?
Okay, that one I work it up and down, and as I'm moving my boat, the way that I fish here, sometimes I put the boat even in gear, like at 7 knots, and stop it, like maybe for 300 feet, and then stop it and leave that weight coming to the boat, so the bait will be coming up and down. That one I will be working it from close to the bottom, like to maybe 800 feet or 700 feet from the bottom. Sometimes I will let it go down again. That's the one that I move the most and work it upper and lower in the water column.
And from the bottom up to how high? do you like to fish it?
Well, I like to fish it like 700 feet from the surface. But I gotta tell you, I have find the fish 500 feet from the surface
During the day?
during the day. Even in that tournament, we hooked up a fish, bringing the baits out that maybe the fish was following it from I don't know where. But the bite was 300 feet from the boat.
Wow.
And we caught that fish. And that was on a mackerel.
That was on a mackerel.
And it was 300 feet from the boat. And 300 feet, remembering that you have a scope.
So he could have been 150 feet.
Exactly.
So more than likely he probably just followed it all the way up from the bottom.
I don't know because maybe 3 years ago, I think it was, fishing out in the north of Dominican Republic, we were having all the bites 700 feet from the surface and higher. Nothing deeper than that. And we were fishing in 2,000 feet of water. But the fish was gathered like maybe 700 feet from the surface.
Wow. I'm answering questions as people are sending them in. So don't you keep talking. I'm just letting people know.
Yeah, so I think that the fish will go as deep as the bait will be. So
it's just dependent on where the bait is. They're going to stay with the bait.
The same thing happened with billfish, and you know this that you've been fishing on the flats in Dominican Republic. When you're marking that bait 300 feet down there, you don't have any blue marlin bites, and you're marking the marlin, but it's that they're down there with the bait,
and they're not going to come up.
They're not going to come up. So in sword fishing, you can do the presentation wherever the bait is, but you have to figure out where the bait is. Because if they're feeding, like, let's say on a squid, who says that the squid is just rubbing their belly on the bottom? They could be anywhere down there.
Makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So as you're out there fishing, how do you find this bait?
That's a really tricky part. When it's squids, you're gonna get hit by the squids. So you have to be paying attention when you got that hit. If you got it really close to the bottom or way over. And the same, when you're fishing, you're gonna see that if you have a bite 400 or 500 feet from the bottom, you're gonna have all the bites down on that depth. There's some boats that have a really nice transducer and equipment that they can mark the bait, and that's a really nice thing to have. I don't have it, but for sure, having that equipment will help you a lot. I have fishing a lot of boats that you can mark the swordfish down there wherever they are. So if you have that equipment on your boat, you mark your bait, and that's where you want to place your bait.
Okay.
Because for sure you can mark the bait balls down there.
If you have the proper transducer.
If you have the proper transducer and the proper equipment for it.
Okay.
And you set it properly. For sure you have to set your transducer on bottom block and be looking for the thing that you want to look for. You need to have it like on low chirp or depending the equipment that you have, and have it on bottom lock and zoom it on the column of water that you're looking or you want to look into.
Very important having the proper equipment.
Yep.
So you've mentioned a couple of baits here, and I'm going to put you on the spot. What is your favorite bait? What is your?
Well,
I'm putting you on the spot because we all have our favorites, but at the same time, go ahead. I'm going to let you go.
If I were to use just one bait, but I will use squid.
Okay.
Because squid, you can never go wrong with it, because you have squids everywhere that you go in the world. It swims really, really great if you are rigged properly, and the hookup with the squid is really, really good. So I always, in my spread, I use at least two rods. I will have a squid, and my other rod will have a whole fish,
A whole fish. What kind of whole fish?
a mackerel.
Okay.
The mackerel is the queen. That you have a we have a really nice video rigging the mackerels
No,
as we do it.
I know we have a great video, and I really should. I don't. Let me see if I can post it up right up underneath you while you're talking. I might be able to get it up and post it up so people can follow it. Now, me personally, I love a small bonita. It was just something that we used a lot of in Venezuela. Always
Okay,
for me was always gut hooked.
okay. The bonito. I'm gonna tell you something about the bonita.
Please
I
do.
love I love to use bonitos. It's one of my favorite baits as well. But to when you fish in Venezuela, the boat was the bait was standing still. You wasn't moving it. She
Well,
was just
it
standing in the buoy.
it would just exactly. It would just sit there. The only thing that it was doing. Oh, wait a second. Big shout out. I have to. Christina Thompson is in the house. She is the one that caught the 310-pound swordfish with Jeffrey Wilson. So everybody, big round of applause for Christina. Congratulations. That was a nice fish. Um, so congratulations. I'm trying to get this list shared for everybody to see. But anyway, talk about the bonita while I try to get this link and I can put it up so everybody can see it.
Okay, the bonita is a really good bait and a successful bait. But if you're moving your bait or you have some current, you really have to know how to work the bait because it's really hard to put a bonita to swim properly. I
Absolutely.
like I like to move my baits, and like I told you, sometimes I move at 6 knots. So I want that bait when it moves to move correctly. So I really recommend the bonita if you know how to clean it up, stitch it properly, and make the correct presentation. You don't want to do like the incorrect way. If you have the swordfish chewing and they're biting in anything, just go for it. But when they get kind of spooky and so on, you want to make the correct presentation for them. And the bonita, even though that is a super great bait, they attract a lot of fish. You want to be able to rig it the correct way and make it swim properly. That's the downside about the bonita.
Yeah, I'm down in Venezuela. We were just letting the current carry it. So
Yeah, and even though down there you even rig it like the hook in the mouth and the wire through the tail if
That's
you want.
exactly how we did it. The hook was in the mouth,
Yep,
and that way, when they ate it, it would go down head first, and they were always gut hooked.
yeah.
Hold everybody. I apologize if you see the wrong thing. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Look at that. I'm gonna put this right below you. This is the list of the videos that I did with you, and I think you guys are gonna be able to just click it, and it should take you straight to the videos. So it's Paco showing how he rigs all of his squid, how he rigs all of his mackerels, how he debones them, your light setup. If somebody could try that and let me know that it's working. See, I'm not really a computer guy. I'm a fisherman. But I'm learning all this stuff. And I had somebody I was talking to the other day. It's no different than using a bottom machine if you just learn how to figure it out. So when you mentioned it, I'm like, let me see if I can put the videos to go along so people, if they want to see it, they can click it. That's the link, and it's the actual YouTube playlist. And I have 10 videos with you, so it's way cool. We did a bunch of cool stuff, except catch a swordfish.
And that at that time, actually, Dominic broke a record on the boat.
How many beers he drank?
Man, I don't know. There was many cases. I didn't
Oh
count
my!
the beers. I count cases.
Here's the thing: the night before we ran into you. Hey, Matt George in the house. Good to see. Oh, and Jeffrey Wilson's in here. Jeffrey's here. Hey, Jeffrey. Good to see
Big shout
you.
to one of the masters.
Congratulations on your fish on this trip. Amy Cummings says it's not working for her. Okay, I'm gonna have to do something better. I will figure it out. I'll get it out there for everybody to see. I might have to just add it to the actual publishing of it. Let's see if I can do that without pissing off Facebook. I'm really good at pissing off Facebook. So, yeah, we had a great time there.
Yeah. Actually, you cursed almost in everybody at Casa de Campo except me. I'm so glad about that.
I cursed at everybody?
Yeah, when we were doing the videos, everybody was talking.
Oh, man. If you end it... Oh, no. I don't want to end the live... Oh, my God, did I cancel? I don't want to end the live video. I just want to hit enter. I was trying to edit some stuff in here so people can see your videos. That's what I'm trying to do. What was I going to say? Oh my gosh, when we were doing the videos, everybody's trying to go to work and they want to see what we're recording, and they keep like just standing in my light, and it's like, come on guys, you're killing me here. So let me move this. I'm gonna go here. I think I might be able to do this so everybody can see your video, Paco. Guys, let me know. Save post. Okay, so I posted it up in the actual link of the description of this video. So if somebody can check that out, let me know. I'd greatly appreciate it. Again, I just want Paco to be able to... Amy says hello. Oh, Jennifer Pratt is in the house. Good to see you. Oh, Craig Sparrow.
Big hug to Amy. That's Amy Cummins?
Yeah, big hug to Amy. So, actually, this is a great question. Sparrow from down in Australia is asking, are you using circle hooks or J hooks?
Well, we're using both. Okay?
So,
both...
explain to us when, why, how they're working for you.
Okay. Both are working perfect, and I have a lot of success with both of them. Fish tends to fight way harder with a circle hook.
Okay.
But for sure, when you have, most of the fish that I get here, they come like gut hook.
They come gut.
But anyways, when you get a hooked up on a circle hook, he's not going anywhere. He's right there on the corner of the mouth. But I like both of them. Even though that I use 400-pound mono, I snail the hook. I use the same as it was a sailfish. Even though that I use a 16-0 circle hook.
You use a 16-0 circle hook.
Yeah. But both of them are really, really productive. What it changed is how you rig your bait.
Okay.
And for sure, you get more bites on a circle hook than a J hook.
Really? Now,
yes, sir.
Why is that?
Because you get your bait to swim way better with a circle hook as you attach it in front of the bait than with a J hook that you have it inside of your bait, or even a squid. When you rig up a squid, you have all that mono going inside of the squid and the hook on it. When you rig your squid with a circle hook, the way that I rig it, that is just in front of the squid moves freely, and for sure you get more like how your explosive bites on a circle hook that tingle that you see on the tip of the rod when you're using a J hook.
What did you just call it? A tingle?
The tingle of the tip.
That is.
Hey, I'm Puerto Rican.
No. It's okay. That's awesome. That is awesome. So you feel that you get more You get more bites
Yeah,
out of circle hooks.
for sure your bite is way different with a circle hook than with a J hook.
Okay. That's awesome to know. That is way awesome to know. Scott Feltman's just joining in. Patty Ross is just joining in. Again, anybody that's joining in late, if you wouldn't mind just hitting that share button, let everybody know. I actually had some on a private text message saying that we were in 11 different Facebook pages. And I said we have 9 pages, but 22 groups.
I'm sorry about that.
No.
Yes, but my boss just offered me a beer.
Have a beer. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I will have to have a beer. I cannot say no to my boss.
No. I'm having a buble.
Oh, no. This is the Puerto Rican beer, medalla.
No, that's good. And I need to also give a big shout out. I see Richard Gunn, Lucas Oil. I got to give my love to my boys at Lucas Oil. Actually, everybody else should be giving their love to Lucas Oil because they were complaining about this seat, that it was noisy, and I ended up putting Lucas Gun Oil, and it made the squeaky go away. So, man, that's really, that's very, for me, that's very, very interesting that you get more bites on circle hooks than J hooks, but you got a better fight. Yep. I understand getting a better fight. That makes a lot of sense. I know when we're blue marlin fishing, or any kind of marlin fishing, once that hook sets in, you're golden. You're golden.
Yeah. Well, when I was in Australia, now that you're making fun of the way that I talk.
Whoa! I never made fun of the way you talk. You talk just like a regular Puerto Rican, man. No, you
Richardson,
just.
I used to call him when I rig the bait. He asked me what you put there, and I will say the pokey one.
The pokey one.
That was the J hook, and the circle one. That's the other one.
Fair enough. Yeah, but I'm not. I was making fun of the words you use, but I wasn't making the fun of the way you talk. I know the way you talk. See, I understand what you say 100%. I have fished with you before.
I know that.
So,
great times.
Let me see. I'm just pulling up the video on this other page. I don't know who's chiming in. Okay, you're there. I got everybody's joining in. Alex Cobb. Hi, Paco. What boat are you on right now? Looks beautiful. It is the Showtime. Shares all over up here. Paul, awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. It's nice to see it go out. That's what we're doing. We're just trying to get it out there and let everybody know what we're doing. We're talking, we're sharing. Listen, places are starting to ease up now. But when we started this whole no BS, it was all about, we were stuck inside the house. I wanted to talk about fishing. And then I started learning, wait a second, there's software out there. I can bring people in. So I'm trying to figure out, I'm going to try to do one with Dominic, Mike Samuels, and Peter and myself all in one. But I have a feeling that's going to be like a rated R version. I won't be able to put it live on Facebook.
At least you have to go the beep.
Yeah, I need to. Oh, wait a second. I have one of those. Hold on. Where is my... I have that. Hold on. I did it with... what's his face? No, not scene, source, not camera, mic, overlays. Man, there's I have a scene where I have all this sound. Oh, there it is. Sound effects. Where did it go? I gotta find it. It came in somewhere on my screen. But I got all these great sound effects, and I was driving what's his face under like crazy, Peter Chabanzai. Anyway, it's here somewhere. I'm not worried about it. It's not that important. Alaska is going into the next stage of opening this Friday. Hopefully by June we will be cleared for all incoming flights. That's awesome. I was so close during the middle of the quarantine. I was going to jump on a plane and go to Alaska and go fishing. Say, just the hell with it. I'm going to get locked up and just go fishing up there. And for me, it would be cool as long as I can go fishing every day. I'm gonna be freezing my butt off, but I just wanted to go fishing.
Well, we're crazy to go out down here. We're hoping that this open up this 25th, so we're preparing for that. But soon enough, we hope to be out there.
Are you guys allowed to go fishing yet?
No,
Really?
we're hoping that here in Puerto Rico, we're allowed to go out the 25th on, but that's not like a certainty. We're just hoping that they let us.
Okay.
And in Dominican Republic, it hasn't been announced yet. So you can go out fishing from the USVIs. You can fish out there. So, well, we're waiting until they let us out. But
Yeah, I know guys can fish in St.
soon enough.
I know guys can fish in St. Thomas because I've gotten some phone calls, and there's a lot of guys waiting to go down to St. Thomas.
Well, actually, the fishing has been great down there. Even marlin fishing. I heard the Betsy got like 3 yesterday fishing the South Drop. So they're doing really good, and the swordfish has been biting. Everything has been biting down there on the U.S. Virgin Islands.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, wait a second. We got to.
Even we did like an amazing deep dropping for queens and groupers and so on, and we got a lot of fish.
Wow. I know there's some really good queen snapper fishing down there. I've had the pleasure of doing that. There's also an update coming in. Keys are opening up to visitors June 1st. Let's hope we can make up for what we've lost for business. Absolutely, Scott. It's good to hear that people are starting to open up. And I promised I was going to keep coming live every single day until the quarantine was over. So I'm still going. Actually, somebody invited me to go fishing this week to North Carolina, and I turned them down. I'm like, nope, I'm going live. I already had people booked up. But I've had a lot of people ask me if I'd continue doing this because a lot of people don't have the opportunity to talk to guys like you because they don't know you. And I know so many people. Hey, let's talk. Okay, let's talk fishing, man. And you can tell it's not just fishing. It's fishing and a little BS and a lot of laughs.
We're doing down here what we do in the boat.
Exactly. That's exactly. You know who said that? Charles Perry said, "You know what, Fly? You're hanging out on the dock is what you're doing."
Yeah.
Let's see. Brian Compton. We are catching lots of tuna up here, Pirates Cove, North Carolina, and gaffers. Like I said, I had somebody call me up yesterday about going up to North Carolina, go fishing. He was looking for a boat to go fishing on. I think he had which he knew. I know so many people up in North Carolina. I can go fishing, but he was driving up.
Shout out from the guys from the down there in North Carolina. I went fishing down there, and it was a great time.
Oh my God, fishing, especially right now. The fishing is incredible. Now, I do have to interrupt this. I'm going to let you know who just joined in, and then I'm going to let you do the talking. The madam herself has joined in, Miss Trista Evans, the madam. So go ahead.
Big shout out with Trista. You know, she's my girl. You know, like I really love Trista. I'm so glad she joined it. For sure, I wouldn't be like where we are without Trista. She was the first one that gave us a hand, and down here, she influenced so much on the fishing by implementing her reels and the help that they have given us and the support and so on. So a big shout to Tristan Hooker Electric people.
Absolutely, big shout out to them. I got some more information coming in from Steve Carson. San Diego County allows household members to go out on boats together. With Phase 3 announced for early June. Okay, that's what we've used this for, is to pass on information in different area because people are always asking. I know before we had our boat ramps opened up, I had a couple of the local lawyers that would text me the information, and I'd put it out so everybody would know. I want to make sure the public is 100% informed about when they can go fishing. Oh, wow. It must be that time because the dog's starting to bark. Love you guys, too. Can't wait to fish again and drink Cuban coffee. Right, Trista? She's like, oh, my God, this stuff is awesome. Hey, did you get it?
Just be sure that you have food on your boat. If not, she's going to get hangry.
Hangry. Oh, no. I'm very familiar with that. I know what hangry is. Anyway, we're gonna start wrapping this up. I don't want you to hang up. I want you to stay there. But we're gonna start winding up. Joel McLeod's in the house. Good to see you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today on the No BS World Tour. I know there's a lot of stuff that we did not cover, but we did cover quite a bit of stuff. Wait a second. San Francisco started allowing party boats this week with 50% reduced load. Very important. Very important. Anything we can do to get the... hey, Steve, if you know anybody in the San Diego area or the San Francisco area, charter captain, that would like to be a part of the No BS World Tour and share about their boat or their charter experience on this, I would love to get some West Coast influence on here. Lee Buck, Paco, thanks again for the great swordfish seminar in North Carolina. There you go. Thanks
for the hospitality. I would love to be down there. I love the place. I love the fishing. I feel that I have another family down there. I crazy to go back.
Let me tell you, I got invited. Seth invited me, but I had my tournament down in Casa de Campo, so I had to go down to the DR. There was no way, and I tried to do both. Let me see if I can do the seminar and then jump on a plane at noon and then fly down, but there was no way, not from North Carolina. Oh, wait a second. Big shout out. Raul Roca from España, Barcelona is in the house. Raul, I called you today. You told me to call you. I called you. Call you tomorrow. Okay, está bien. So somebody tells me to call him, I call him. We're heading out.
I know that you answer your calls.
No, listen, you text me, and it's so funny because it came in again. I don't know why it came in again, but it just came in right now.
That you answer your calls.
Call me. So anyway, guys, Matt, George, we're heading out fishing now. Thanks, Fly, for great podcast. We should do one for Sat Phone. Hey, Matt, I will do that, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. The shortest I've done is 56 minutes, and you and I already, me and you, Paco, we've been on for an hour and 12. So,
wow.
Yeah. It goes,
anyways, I want to give a big shout out to EJW Outdoors down there in North Carolina.
Okay.
Big family down there. Great tackle shop. They can make anything happen. So a big shout out to them.
They are an unbelievable tackle shop there. So I've been in there. They're very, very good. Very, very nice. So Paco, stay there. Jeffrey Wilson, Timmy, Matt, Rick, Trista, everybody. Love you guys. Hit that share button. And I'm coming at you tomorrow with Mike Puller. We're talking about the new shark repellent chum that's out there. It's kind of something that's been talked about a lot by a lot of people, and he's been using it and trying it out. So anyway, guys, peace out. Paco, hang tight, and we will see you guys.
Thank you for having me.
Mañana.